Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Monday night Team Reactive Zoom. Today is October 22nd, and we are fresh back from the diamond trip in Dublin, Ireland. We also visited Paris, France while we were there. Had a fantastic time. All I can say is, you know, you got to just go for these trips, work for it. They're always fantastic, different place every year, and they just go all out. And we're going to tell you how all out we went with the hotel we stayed at in Dublin. But you want to talk a little bit? Who wants the ghost story, tonight or next week? You guys tell us. Foster and I were in a haunted room. We were like, let's save it for Halloween, but it's up to you guys. We can tell you tonight.
Why is it up to them? Okay. All right.
Why don't you let's talk about statistics first.
Let's talk about statistics.
Yeah, let's talk about that first. Some of the great things that we heard. Guys, ASEA is really in momentum. I hope Paul will talk about this some too. We're really going into that momentum phase. What we have been waiting for us, over 8 years, for Paul over 9 years. This is what we've been talking about, is when the company goes into that vertical phase. And we are, wouldn't you agree, Paul, we're really moving into that phase?
Yes, absolutely. The timing is phenomenal because, as the technology becomes more and more validated, we have more and more history and success stories. We don't have to talk as much detail about how the product works, and we can really lean on that, leverage that, and focus more now in a business building mode. And it's exciting because when that happens, you're going to see a complete shift. I mean, I've seen it with other companies, from Herbalife News, when they were in the momentum. I mean, it was like people just, their biggest concern was, how do you fill the form out? I mean, everyone was like, okay, what do I fill out? Where do I put the people? And so that's why it's really important too that everyone gets their chops up on learning the compensation plan, learning about how to keep your binaries balanced as possible. Because when they're pouring in, that's going to be your main concern. So fasten your seatbelts. I think we're getting there very quickly here.
And thanks, Paul. That's a rich man's problem. When, oh darn, make sure you got everything balanced, because they're just pouring in. But it's exciting, guys, and we see people like starting to enroll, people coming back, people just hearing about this. Why don't you talk about some of the statistics that we learned on the Diamond trip?
So when we were staying on the Diamond trip at the Shelburne Hotel, the haunted hotel in Dublin, so we got some awesome statistics. So first of all, since the beginning of time with ASEA, there are between 200 and 250,000 associates that have enrolled. A couple of weeks ago, ASEA had its first...
A new one.
Oh wait, guys, mute yourself.
Okay.
Guys, can you mute your line?
Right now,
Sorry, I'm gonna have to mute you all.
And with
somebody muted themselves. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But you can still hear me, I hope. Okay, so ASEA had its first $3 million week in its history. So the year that Paul enrolled in this company, I think they did $15 million the whole year. And then I think our first year was $25 million, and $3 million in a week.
1 week.
So we didn't do. I'll tell you what, we didn't do 15 million that first year. I really doubt. I mean, I'd be shocked if it was a few million for the whole year.
Oh, so then maybe it was 15 in 2010, and then 25 in 2011. But it was it was not what we're doing now. So right now, year over year, the first 3 quarters of 18 versus 17, we're up over 40% higher than same last year. Auto ships year over year are doubled.
That's crazy.
Doubled.
Paul
Okay.
gets that. That's huge,
Exactly.
guys.
So when you see that, we can start, first you got to hit 3 million 1 week, but then you start averaging it as you start hitting 4 million. This year they said we're going to blast through the 100 million mark, maybe 110 plus, but what's going to happen next year? So This is where momentum goes. If any of you have read The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks about companies like this, that usually once you get to 100 million to 150 million in sales, that's when you start seeing that vertical climb. And that's where you make the most money in the shortest amount of time. And we are there. And this is the very beginning. This is the perfect storm. So if you're not saying less to more people, please start doing that tonight, because you're going to hate it when your neighbors are in the business and somebody else enrolled them from California and you didn't talk to them down the street. So let's just all get out of our comfort zones and start saying less to more people. Don't talk about mitochondria. Talk about, I am in a business that's in momentum. It is growing so fast. Love to show you. And I barely have time to let you fill out your enrollment form. I fight about it. It's like, I'm going to bed. You enroll them.
Can you imagine?
They only want 10 cases. I'm not even doing that.
And guys, we're on the path. They said they wanted to make 100 million this year, and we are going to sow past that. It's like that is. It's just we're going to go way past that. So it's really exciting. We are in the right time, right place at the right time, and so let's get to work, guys. Let's get to work.
Absolutely. Tyler Norton had a great quote. He said, one of the things that he uses to define network marketing as a distribution model is that it shrinks the world while expanding hearts. It's a very cool quote. It's like you keep leading with your heart and the world just keeps getting smaller and everybody's just a Zoom webinar or a text away. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the ghost story maybe at the end of the night. If people give them a PayPal, so yeah, never mind. We had some really awesome stories.
We did.
And if any of you get spooked, then you should turn it off in about 10 minutes.
Hey guys, we have a presentation this Saturday. Hey Scott, are you on here? If you are, unmute yourself. But we have a presentation we're doing with Scott LaValle this Saturday. And it is from 7 to 9 p.m. And it is going to be...
Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey Scott, want to talk a little bit about the presentation this Saturday?
Yeah, sure. So it's Saturday night, October 27th. It'll be at 7 p.m. And it's going to be at 85 West Deer Trail, which is my home. And it should be a pretty cool event. We got a lot of people that have committed to come. And we may be Zooming this as well. But that's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah. If we do Zoom it, it's going to be for people that are not in the area.
Yes.
Because
yes.
Otherwise we could just stay home and do a Zoom.
Exactly.
So,
right.
Exactly.
If you're not in the New York area or our area and you want to be invited, please let us know and we will get that week.
Mostly for the out-of-state people, the people that can't be here.
Yeah.
But we'll confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. I love these in-home events. I know we did one not too long ago, which was very successful. And I think these type of events are the most successful because they're personal. You get a chance to actually, really communicate with people, and they see your passion, and it makes all the difference in the world. Absolutely. When you can share that.
Absolutely. So this is the second one for Scott in like the past month. Where is everybody? Foster and Terry are willing to do presentations. I'm sure Paul is out in Henderson. It's like, use your leaders, guys. Use us to come in and do those presentations. Or if you're doing a presentation and we can't be there live, in person, we can still do Zooms. And that's the power of these Zooms. So please use us. If you're going to do a presentation, you want us, and you're we're part of this team is ask us. We'll come on and do a part. We love it.
Do it in your kitchen for 3 people and have us come on for 15 minutes and answer questions. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay, we're very
exactly.
excited. We're looking forward to it.
Yep.
And if memory serves, you're buying McKinney and Doyle for everybody. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
Okay.
You may have to have a Guinness for me, Scott, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, you're muted, Scott. You muted yourself. Wait, Scott, you muted your phone.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Hey, the Guinness I can promise.
There you go.
Okay, look, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes, Paul. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, you bet. Welcome home, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Hey, Foster and I are doing the Charge Up call this Friday. We're going to have a great lesson for you. We hope you will tune in. I mean, really, you guys, every day you should be on this Charge Up call at 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's just, you know, whatever day, Monday through Friday, you have a different leader, different testimonial, different training, and it's really, they're great calls, and we hope you will join us this Friday. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm not even going to tell you the number because you guys all know it. So not even go there. Hey, Envision Conference. Don't forget, Envision Conference is the January 18th and 19th. So the 17th is going to be for production tours, but make sure you get there and order your ticket. This is going to be where you get a clear strategic roadmap, how to navigate your journey to SIA. You get to gather with industry experts and corporate executives and participate in a shared vision of leadership and professional development. You guys are going to be the first to hear exclusive product information, important announcements, and future plans for the next year before anyone else. And I think a lot of people say that they like the Envision conference better than convention because it's really about really rubbing elbows. It's a smaller amount of people. It's really just training and getting to hear from the experts. It's awesome. So I hope you will get there. Just go to asiaevents.com and click on Envision Conference, register, and also for the production tour. I don't know if any are left, but I would grab one as soon as possible. Let's see, and that's going to be in Salt Lake, at the Salt Palace Convention in Salt Lake City. Let's see. Oh boy, let me shut my phone off. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Hey, by the way, Trish Swingler was talking about the SIA product quick draw video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's 7 minutes long. But what she's saying about it now, what her and Bob are saying is, I mean, it clearly answers what are redox signaling molecules. I think we kind of got away from this little video, but you can also, it's also talks about the ASEA, kind of how ASEA via nutritional products tie into it. It kind of shows how nutritional products are important as well. So check it out and use it. It's another great little video. So that is right in your back office. That's the quick draw. Let's see here. Don't need that. I'm just looking at things here. Okay, so events. Let me just copy and paste. Here is events. Guys, if you know people in any of these areas, get them to these events. Let me get to my chat. Where did my chat go?
There in the orange.
Oh, duh. It's the orange one. Okay. There's your events. So you've got one in Florida. Well, look at that. Pauline Poughkeepsie area is on there. Concord, North Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Portland, Oregon, Redwood City, California, Dallas. So these events are there for everybody. I would take advantage of them. Like we said, do home presentations, do Zoom presentations, get to the live presentations. It's so important to build your business. Want to add anything to that, you guys?
It's so important to build your business.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
He's a helper, he is. So I think that is about it for that. Does anybody have any, oh, I know where I'm going. I know where I want to go right now. I want to go switch gears right here, and I want to go over to our inspirational message for the evening, which would be by our lovely Pat Babcock. I'm going to unmute you. Let me unmute. You unmute.
Okay.
Hi, Pat.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to hear from you. We hear you're going to share your inspirational message for tonight.
Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of reading here and there, okay, and I kind of like this one. It's fall down 77 times, stand up 78. So this is the story, this is not politically motivated. God, not for me anyway. Can't stand the whole deal. But if you remember this guy, Ross Perot, in his biography, it includes an incredibly inspiring sales story. According to Samuel Perot, quickly became a top employee at IBM. In fact, one year he fulfilled his annual sales quota in a mere 2 weeks. Yet when he tried to pitch his ideas to supervisors, he was largely ignored. He led him to leave IBM, and he founded Electronic Data Systems. To get the business going, he attempted to sell the products to large corporations for his data processing services, obviously way back in the day, okay, when they did this. Perot was refused 77 times before he was given his first contact. So the lesson is obviously never give up. Keep trying, keep going back to your contacts, just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Pat.
Wow, persistence.
You know what? And what that reminds me of is look at Babe Ruth. I mean, everybody knows Babe Ruth, how many home runs, but people don't realize how many times he struck out.
A lot.
Like they fall down, someone get up. And then who was the basketball? Was it
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. How many baskets did he miss? But everybody knows him for his success, how many he made, right?
Actually, Michael Jordan didn't even get on his high school basketball team. He was booted out.
There you go. So that's exactly, because we were just talking about this last week, and it was exactly that these people, you fall down 77 times, you get up 78, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Look at these people that that took that chance. I think Tyler was really talking about that at the training, is making yourself vulnerable, taking that chance. Do you want to just mention a little bit about that?
I would mention a little bit about that.
I think this is because every diamond trip Tyler does, and this is why I'm going to go into this, Pat, because you kind of just segued right into this. We weren't going to talk about it because it's a lot to take in, because it's a couple of hours, but he always does this fantastic training for the diamonds. And the diamonds said this was by far like the best training they've ever heard. They're hoping that somebody recorded it or they're going to re-record it. But just talk a little bit about,
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this.
Just
and this was, you've all probably heard or seen Tyler train. And most of us left that room and said this was the best training Tyler had ever done that we'd ever seen. Don't you wish you were there, by the way? All you have to do is hit diamond 20 times this year. Okay, let's get to work. Say less to more people. Go do it. Go talk to 100 people this week. Okay, so this is what Tyler was talking about. Your capabilities to grow this business and your capacity, your ability to grow this business shrink when you feel vulnerable. Okay, so how does that have anything to do with this? Okay, so all of you on this webinar and everybody who's on your teams at some point was told when they were probably less than 10 years old, you're not good enough, and or who do you think you are to be able to do that? Now, we may not remember it, but it's in there. Because back when we all grew up, that's some of the things parents used to say. They didn't know that it would have a lasting impression. Okay, so it's incredible for all of us to know that when we go to talk to somebody about joining this business or taking this product, the reason most of us don't talk to enough people is that we are actually vulnerable, because they may say, you're an idiot, you're stupid, it's salt water, it's a network marketing scheme. So your vulnerability is what's going to keep you from talking to everybody within 3 feet of you. And so he says the goal is to try to understand what that vulnerability is like. Okay, so let's say Pat Babcock doesn't love speaking in public. Let's say it took some guts for Pat to say, okay, I'll do the inspirational message. And let's say maybe she thought about, I got to go do this thing. I got to go talk to however many people. Let's just say that happened. Okay. Every other person on this webinar thinks of you right now as courageous. Yep. You felt vulnerable, but we all feel you're courageous. So hopefully you'll get the message that you all feel vulnerable, but when people see you in action, they think you're courageous.
Mm-hmm. You know what? There was a good explanation. Think about if you see somebody on stage and they're reading from cue cards. Do you think anything less? You think they're up there talking in front of all these people and they just want to make sure they have it right and they've got their cards. You think they're awesome, but inside they think that you're like judging them, that they're being vulnerable. And nobody in the audience thinks that they are less than. They just think, wow, that took courage to get up there, right? You wouldn't think anything if they were reading off of cards, cue cards. So it's about being vulnerable. And go ahead.
Okay. All right. So it's important for everybody to know that your vulnerability, that every single one of us has, things that make us say things like, thank you, Scott, I am too short. I am too fat. I am not smart enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not good enough. Why would that person say yes to me? All of those vulnerabilities, actually, when you act, people perceive them as courageous and strong and inspiring and motivating. So you can take your vulnerability and realize that actually will be strength for someone else. So think this: yes, I am imperfect, but I will be vulnerable and I will be perceived as stronger. Everyone is imperfect. Inactivity is the biggest mistake that you can make because it's giving into that vulnerability. Okay, so we want to get the message out that ASEA is a safe place to be imperfect and vulnerable. And that's how we'll share. So many people on this webinar, they don't have a presentation in their house. They're not doing a Zoom webinar because they feel vulnerable. They feel if it's not perfect, they're gonna laugh at me. But instead, by not being perfect and by saying, you know what, I get nervous when I do these things, but I'm gonna do it anyway, that is perceived as courage. It is inspiring for those that need to be inspired. And it's an awesome, awesome message. So vulnerability, remember this, is the birthplace of strength, courage, and belonging. Have the courage to be vulnerable so you can inspire others. And Tyler did this for an hour. And the book.
That was good. Yeah, with the book, we're going to write down the book that we want you all to read.
Okay.
And we're going to be reading it with you.
And it's called Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. B-R-E-N-A.
I'm going to write it down. Daring Greatly by
B-R-E-N-E.
B-R-E-N-E.
Apostrophe.
And
the last name is Brown.
There you go. It's in the chat, guys. Daring Greatly.
That's who Denise just said to watch her TED Talk on.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Okay, so Denise had written right above, before she finished, said, listen to TED Talk by Brené Brown. She talks a lot about vulnerability.
Oh, Denise, you're so amazing.
The book is awesome.
It is. That's what
awesome.
Tyler said, yes. So we're asking you guys, let's all read it, okay? We're going to make that commitment, and maybe we can talk a little bit about it. People can share what they're taking away from it. But you know, it's so okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. Yeah, go ahead, Denise.
So, it makes me think of Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and share.
Because she was terrified to talk to people. Because when she first started talking to people, these are her words, I would vomit on everybody. And she would just say, oh, I want you to sign up. Oh, this is really great. And people would go away from me. Don't talk to me. So, oh gosh, how long was it? 2 years, 2.5, maybe even 3 years?
Yeah.
He would not do anything.
Yep.
And all of a sudden she said, I really want to do this. So she actually talked live on Facebook, which was terrifying for her. She would practice 15, 20 times before she would actually do it live. She is now another woman.
Yeah.
She is totally enrolled to be a business builder. We're talking about millionaire mindset. I'm like, who is this woman I'm talking to?
Yeah.
So
she let herself be vulnerable, and she didn't even realize she was doing it. Yeah.
I know. I told her about Brene Brown.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Joe is Denise's Australia associate, and you guys, she was on here a couple weeks ago. So thanks, Denise, for sharing that. Yeah, it is. Let yourself be vulnerable, guys. Nobody is going to think bad of you. It was the same thing for me getting up on stage and talking, where people go, oh my gosh, you're so inspiring. I was scared to death. I'm still nervous when I get on stage, but I do it because I need to do it. Not because I love to do it. And I just let myself, it's like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay to do it, right?
Exactly. And the next time I go on stage, I'm going to do it without makeup. I'm going to show you I don't care. I'm going to be vulnerable.
Oh, shut up.
But I'm too short. Okay. And thank you, Scott, for your story. The reason I keep going is because I was always told I was too small. I became the starting running back on my high school football team, started as the safety and returned kickoffs and punts and never give up. And look, Scott doesn't give up. Okay. Scott is rocking. His business is rocking because he doesn't give up. And it's just amazing stuff. And at convention, I'll tell you my story.
Yes.
At Envision, I'll do it sooner.
So who wants to be vulnerable and share and do an inspirational message next week?
We should have tons of people coming on here.
Go ahead. You guys can either type it in the chat.
Or we're gonna pick somebody. We're gonna pick somebody.
It's 1 minute. It's 2 minutes. It's 3 minutes. It's whatever you want to share.
It can be your testimonial. It can be an awesome testimonial. Hello, Brian. Nice to see you. I think Brian should do it.
Yeah, let's see if somebody.
You know what?
And you know what? And I know Denise. I know she's raising her hand. She'll do it. And Scott says he'll do it. But I would, you know what? And I'm always grateful that you guys are. I know you guys will do it. But can somebody that
we want somebody to be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. It's okay. Just take 1 minute, even if it's your
It's
own
for other
story.
people. It's not about you.
It's not. Okay, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna sit here till somebody raises their hand. Cynthia McKnight wants to share something. She said, while you guys are thinking about it, and then who's gonna raise their hand to be vulnerable next week? Look at everybody. Go ahead, Cynthia. You wanted to share something?
Just unmute yourself, please.
I don't know where she went.
She's back one.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, Cynthia?
Hi. First of all, welcome back. Thank you so very much for sharing. I love you in those costumes. Oh, you had a beautiful time, and thank you for showing us the Eiffel apparel. Okay, so I was just living vicariously through you. Of course, everybody was like, we want to be on the diamond next year. I had the opportunity to do an expo this weekend. And a friend called me and was like, I need, you to come and share your stuff. I said, okay, no problem. I wasn't expecting that, but luckily I had stuff here. And, I used my loyalty rewards points. So I had pouches and I had a lot of tubes of Renew 28 sample gels. And so long story short, it was like this thing just came over me because I've been talking about enthusiasm and sharing your stories and all that stuff like that. So when I was there on Saturday, you know, of course, when you go to a health and wellness expo, you have a lot of people walking around. There's a lot of different other vendors and things that are there. But I knew that I was the baddest thing that was in that building because I knew it all the way down to my core. We have the operating system for the cells. Nothing else comes on top of that. I should say before that, than the operating system. So this confidence came over me. I had such peace. I wasn't scared. I didn't have any anxiety. I had so much passion in my voice, gleam in my eye, and people was walking by the table, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? You passing a nice great window right here. You need to stop by and look at this." And they're like, "Oh, really? What is it?" And just let them have it. I had so many people around my table. I have a page and a half of names that I got to get, you know, called and set up. But here's the thing. If you know you have all these wonderful, great tools, you guys work so hard to put all these tools in place for us. Utilize the tools. So what I had on my table was, of course, the nutritional line. I had the little booklets that we had at the convention. I had the book by Dr. Robert Ward, okay? I also had the book by Anne Louise Gettleman, which went over fantastic because page 108, it clearly shows about ASEA in there. And then I had Dr. Foster. I definitely have to talk with you because I have a scientist, and she has she does research into cancer. And so she was going into the mitochondria, Did I let her phase me? Not at all. I said, does it have to deal with the cells? Yes. Okay. You want to get breaking down a little bit more? Pick up Dr. Ward's book. You can look through all the little body parts and whatnot, and we can go into more detail. But here's the thing. I started conversations with people, friends, first. I took me out of the equation. It was all about these amazing redox signaling molecules. And long story short, found out that the scientist, she and I went to the same junior high school in the Bronx.
That's funny.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks.
Absolutely. So I definitely want to speak with you because, you know, you talk all about that scientist and everything and like that. So, but long story short is when you know what you know, what you know, it's almost like having mega ball power numbers right now, 1.6 billion. You have that in this redox signaling molecules. We are the only ones on the planet that has this. I was telling people the last 20 years in Nobel Prize studies, they was doing some part of this redox signaling molecules. I was showing the bottles. We have the tools, the back of the bottle, bioagilenic. I don't have to, listen, it's already been proven. So where's the fear at? It's already been proven. So you rely on the tools, use your tools, have the confidence within yourself. You are the expert in the room. We are a category creator. So therefore, you don't have to worry about not knowing everything. You don't.
Okay. Boy,
so I just wanted to share that with you. And if you want next week, I would love to do the inspirational as well.
Well, okay. Well, Scott, we just took Melissa Weber. So then maybe we'll for the next week. That would be awesome. So let's, I just told Scott yes for Melissa, but
that's fine. No problem.
Following Monday.
The next one
is you, Cynthia McKnight.
There you go.
Okay. And then just
so the Monday after Melissa,
Exactly. So you're in 2 weeks, and then just text me tomorrow and let's talk tomorrow, and we'll make a plan for the people on your 1.5 pages.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cynthia. Does anybody else have anything before we let you all go? Because you know what? We're going to save our ghost story. And
I am, because it's Halloween week next week.
It's really good. Wait till you guys see. We really were in a haunted room, and we had a little visitor.
Enough.
And that's all we're going to tell you. So, yeah, Brian, what's up? Brian raising his hand. You just have to unmute yourself, Brian. Oh, let me unmute you. There, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Well, it was funny with listening to Doc say before, you know, talk to 100 people. And I think the biggest thing for me, the tools, and you guys are amazing, but that vulnerability is huge. And I think that piece comes into play not only in Nicaea and dealing with people that you don't know that you're coming in contact with, but I also preach it to my students who I teach as well, and it's a 10-90 rule. And life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how we handle it and how we respond to it. So, it's really interesting because you can talk to as many people as you want, but it really depends on how our response comes from that conversation. So it's not a matter of succeeding or finding that person every single time you talk to them. It's a matter of saying to yourself, okay, what am I going to do with that information? What am I going to do with that relationship? What am I going to do with that communication that I just started? If it doesn't go well, that's okay. I'm going to talk to somebody else. So again, it's really not a matter. It's that as long as you're not working on a 90-10 and you're working on a 10-90, that's all that you got to worry about.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. And look how your business is going. How many customers you got in the last month?
Oh, I think I'm up to, geez, don't quote me on it, but I want to say 10.
Okay.
And it's first month, so way to go.
So Brian's doing awesome. Brian started with family experience just because somebody who wasn't really doing the business yet just said, hey, talk to this guy. Let's see if we can help your daughter. His daughter got better. He decided, wait a minute, he should do this as a business. And now he's got 10 customers in a month. So it looks like you froze, Brian, but you are rocking it. Brian and I text almost every day, even when I'm in Europe. So thanks so much. That was great. 10-90 rule. It's awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks. Even though you're frozen. Anybody else? All right.
Hey, real quick, guys. Once again, for anyone who has people in Hawaii, I'm going to be there this Sunday doing a presentation and training. You have to register at liveeventpromo.com. Again, liveeventpromo.com. Associates are $5. Guests are free. And that's, again, associates $5, guests are free. I posted it to See United a few days or last week, but like I tell folks, if you, for those of you who've been around for a while, and you may have people that might have popped someone up in Hawaii, you can go in your virtual office and search in the customer and associate search and just put in the advanced field of Hawaii, and people there will pop up, and you can, so email them a link to that. Just let them know, hey, I'm coming, giving you updates. There's so many new exciting things going on. You probably at least want to just pop your head and get up to speed. If you haven't been tuning in, and you never know. I think people are we're going to re-engage. I will tell you just quick thing, because, we are at it, like Foster was saying earlier, we are at it's a powerful time. And people, for those of you who've worked through all of the, ups and downs and stuck with it, and you're persistent, just a couple days ago, I had someone call me that I hadn't spoke to since 2015, who called me, someone that I was prospecting, and that's going to start to happen more and more. That's another early signal of momentum, when people start to call you. And if you didn't quit and you were persistent, they're likely to re-engage with you. So I want to give you the encouragement there. And I'll tell you that there was someone at New Skin International who was like a 3-time loser. He actually signed up. He worked the business for maybe about a year, and he quit. And the way New Skin's compensation plan is, once you're done, you don't renew. They remove you from the genealogy. Well, one of the people in his group ended up being multi-million-dollar earner. Okay, so he 5 years later, went back, signed up again, and did almost the same thing. Worked it for maybe a year or two, quit, removed from the genealogy, had another one. It happened 3 times. The third time, the guy was like the top income earner. He's the earner today, I think. He's from Japan. He makes over $1 million a month, and it was in his organization. So I just want to send you a message that, be persistent, realize this company's not going anywhere, but straight up, and just work through it. Because what's ahead of us is very powerful. So anyways, just want to share that with you guys. Thanks so much.
That was awesome.
Hope to see you in Hawaii. Did you have anyone? Yes.
What island? Wait, what island are you going to be at?
I'm going to be in Honolulu, on the island of Oahu. So Waikiki, all those areas there on Oahu, come out and see me. And also Philippines. And thanks, Foster, too, for sharing the post there with Ed Weens. I know you guys had seen Carl Smith over there in Ireland. giving us updates. So we really can't do big presentations, but I will be there in the office, meeting, doing one-on-ones, and trying to get people prepared for the launch there in March. They've had to kind of push out because of product registration. But if you know anyone indirectly, let me know, and I'll kind of paint the bigger picture and where they're at and the opportunity of where they're at right now over there, and to set the right expectation.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Good luck in Hawaii. Thank you. That's liveeventpromo.com. Get them to Honolulu. Nobody does a presentation like Paul Tyra. You're not going to have Craig Lindner part of that, are you?
Absolutely. I'm having him watch the door so nobody leaves.
Exactly. That's a boy. Okay.
Hey, bye, guys. Colombia, too, the restrictions are off now in Colombia. So things are really moving there. They have product on the ground, and things are really starting to shake, rock and roll there. So, again, that was something that took a couple of years to, just that persistence of keep going. Aniello and Marco and us just not giving up. So we're really excited about where things are going. Things are really moving, guys.
It's so validating because now for 8 years, we've been saying, no, really, it's going to happen. And people would call us an idiot, or they'd quit, or they'd go to another company, or they'd say network marketing is for them. And it's like, for those that persist and now really engage and start working and using the tools, get to work on Jeannie, let Jeannie tell you what to do, it's going to get crazy, and you're going to get exhausted having to go to the bank so often and going to the new car dealer. And it's really, we feel bad for you. We call those rich man problems. And if you get engaged now and get to work now, use us for 3 ways. That's what we're here for. Let's go. It's time.
And by the way, as you guys are talking about that, somebody in our upline is coming back to work. And that's very exciting. When when somebody in your upline that's been doing very well, but they really haven't been doing anything, they're coming back into work they got it. They see it. So guys, we're really excited about where this company is going. We're finally there. Push, 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 work it every day, get the presentations going, get the Zooms going, get the calls going, and use us. Paul's there is your upline. We're your upline. You've got great field leadership. I could start naming everybody that's on here to help you. So we're excited. And next week, make sure to tune in, and you're going to get to hear a really, really good story.
Exactly. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for getting everybody on here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys.